Hey everyone, Amanda here with Moses and Me Card Company. Today I am going to showcase the cards that I made with kind of an older collection. This was from Spellbinders and was released probably back in the fall. It is the Woodland Tales collection, and it came with this little Finley fox, which I really enjoyed creating cards with him. It also came with this embossing folder called Fresh Picked Floral Frame, and it coordinates rather with the Fresh Picked label and tag dies. So this shape in the middle matches the shape in this die set. So we will try to use both of those. I also got some papers from this collection. These are 20 sheets of the Woodland Tales paper pack. There's 5 designs each and you get 2 of them. So just a quick look at what that looks like. I've obviously used this pattern paper, so I don't have the 20 sheets anymore. But I've got at least one of each of the patterns, so you can take a look. See that one? I'm sorry, they're not in order. I've been rifling through them. I really like that one with the ginkgo leaves. I'm a big fan of ginkgo trees. I just think they're so pretty. And then got this guy. So some gold foiling on those. So those are really lovely. And then the last thing that I have that I could find rather in my stash was this vellum pack. It had vellum and printed, so it had like pieces of vellum. And as you can see, I've used some of it, but it had really pretty, these are really pretty, kind of look like fall kind of colors. They had mushrooms, and then they also had acetate that had prints on them. So again with the ginkgo leaves, which I think is really pretty. And then there's a birch tree, and then there's this other piece that has kind of writing on it, which was really lovely. You can see I've used some of these pieces. So it's got gold foiling on it as well. So there you have that collection. And sorry. Secondly, I'm going to bring in, so I needed some, just some simple cards with sayings on them, and I ended up purchasing from Spellbinders the, I don't remember what they called this collection, hang on. Okay, these are called the Essentially Yours sentiment, and I liked the size of them and also the different sentiments they have in there. So they have with sympathy, thinking of you, happy birthday, hello friend, get well soon, best wishes, thank you, and congrats. So we're going to use some of those as well for some of these cards. So let's look, let's see what we can create. Alright, so starting off with card number 1, I was able to make 6 cards with this collection. I used some of that beautiful pattern paper that has the gold foiling on it, and again brought in one of my favorite dies from Simon's Stamps. I think this is just called Frames. Frames, yep. And as you can see, this frame right here is the one that I used to cut that out of the pattern paper, and I used some of the Treasured Gold cardstock from Spellbinders to bring. So this is the Pearl Metallic Gold from the Gold Assorted pack, and I used that several times during these cards. I just kind of, I think, had it on my desk, so that's what the inner frame is created out of. This is the edge frame has been popped up rather on some fun foam, so it's got a little bit of dimension. And then of course the with sympathy is from those essential sentiments, and that is also in that specialty gold cardstock in the pearl metallic. I heat embossed the sub-sentiment on some Desert Storm, some Nina Desert Storm cardstock. And I brought in a sympathy set from Tailored Expressions. This is Simple Strips Sympathy. And so as you can see, that creates a whole bunch of sympathy sentiments all at once. And I cut those out with a coordinating die. And the sentiment has some dimension. It is actually mounted on some vellum so that it kind of shades the back of that a little bit. And there you have card number 1. Unfortunately, I'm in need of some sympathy cards this week, which I never enjoy making. For card number 2, I brought in our little Finley fox. Part of the pattern paper here, and again I used that frames die from Simon Says Stamp, and you can see again there's the treasured cardstock in that pearl metallic gold, and the sentiment is also in that pearl metallic gold. This branch is part of the Finley fox die, and that is cut in some chocolate brown and some cream cardstock. And the thank you is several die cuts layered together, so it's got some dimension. And again, the outer frame on this is also got some fun foam, so it's got some dimension. And then that acetate with the foil gold is just directly mounted on the background, and just kind of gives it a little bit of extra interest. So there you have card number 2. For card number 3, and again we brought in Finley Fox and the little butterfly that goes with him this time. This is the Thinking of You from the Essentially Yours sentiments, and I brought in another frame die. This is new to my stash and I was looking forward to using it. So this is Gentle Swell frames from Penny Black. If you put 2 of the frames together, this is the size you get if you put 2 of the larger frames together. It's that little piece that gets cut out in between them. That is mounted several high, as well as the main sentiment. The sub-sentiment again is gold heat embossed on some Nina Desert Storm. And then that was from that Tailored Expressions sentiment. Most of the sentiments from here are from that because it cuts out so many of them. The Simple Strips Sympathy. It cuts out so many of them, I kind of try to use them up. Now this background is actually the vellum that has been mounted on some white. So it's got a little bit of a different texture to it. So it's kind of feels a little bit like vellum or glossy paper. Right. Yeah. Oh, actually, I think this might be the pattern paper. Oh, that kind of fooled me a little bit. It's got a different feel, but in any case, this is the pattern paper from the 6x6 pad. And there is card number 3. Let's go ahead and bring in the vellum. You can see it's got a little bit of a different look. Obviously, I cannot. But anyway, this is, again, that Gentle Swell frame from Penny Black. This is the middle size here. That's the next to the biggest size. And then, again, we've got, that is stacked up several pieces high, so it's got a little bit of dimension like a chipboard sticker. The Thinking of You is also stacked up. So it's got a little bit of dimension. And then the Sorry for Your Loss is from a old Simon Says Stamp set. This is Tiny Words. I liked how little these were. They were kind of easy to use. And then that has been popped up on some fun foam that was gold heat embossed. And then I just brought in one of the little butterflies from the Finley Fox set. So you can see this is the vellum piece. It's not adhered down. Only behind the frame is where the glue is. So that's all hidden. But that's kind of a pretty little sympathy card as well. Let's see if I can get these kind of lined up here. And then for card number 4, I brought in that embossing folder. I did do some ink on the embossing folder so that the depressed portions of that embossing folder rather are a darker color than the actual flowers. This is again some more vellum that is actually mounted on some Nina Desert Storm cardstock. And then of course I cut out one of the butterflies from the little fox set. And the Thinking of You are from the Essentially Yours sentiments. This is one of those sub-sentiments from the Simple Strips. Sympathy from Tailored Expression. All of these pieces, so the main die here, that specialty frame, what's it called? The Fresh Picked Labels is stacked up several pieces of cardstock high, as is the sentiment, and then of course the sub-sentiment is mounted on some foam tape, so it's got a little bit of dimension. And there you have card number 5. I think I'm going to make it this time with all the, without having any kind of numerical issues. And then last but not least is card number 7. This vellum is really pretty. This again is mounted on some of the Desert Storm cardstock. I brought in the Thinking of You again, and that of course is mounted several high, as is the frame die from Penny Black, the Gentle Swell frame. Finley the Fox is just mounted on top of that. He's got a little bit of foam tape in some areas where he... Sorry about that, my battery died. So he's got some foam tape where there are parts where his tail and his front are touching the frame, which is popped up, so I didn't want him to sag. So anywhere that was in between that has got some foam tape behind it just to kind of give it a little bit of support. And then we've got one of the little butterflies. And the sub-sentiment again came from the Tiny Words from Simon Says Stamp. It actually came from the other Tiny Words, so they had a whole bunch of these. This is Tiny Words Encouragement, where the hang in there came from. So it was just kind of a nice little sub-sentiment. And there you have card number 6. So there are the 6 cards that we created with these 2 sets from Spellbinders. I hope if you got these in your stash and haven't used them yet, this kind of encourages you to get them out and start to play with them, and maybe even gives you some ideas if you were struggling. As always, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to our next video. We'll chat with you guys later. Talk at you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.